Hey everyone, it's Matt and Jalen again for RasterMasterGames, and today, I sound like Chris. Hi, I'm Jalen. Today we're going to be doing a final judgment for Catherine, which was released last Tuesday. The footage took all week to upload, but now that it is done, we have moved on to our next project. We have decided that it's about time we review what could be the RMG Game of the Year for 2011. But I don't know, October and November might knock it down, but we'll see about that. So in case you're new to RMG and Final Judgments, we'll tell you how things work. We have 5 categories: gameplay, graphics, audio, plot, and replay value. Each category gets scored on a scale of 1 to 10. After all 5 categories are scored, we average them out for our final score. And just to note, these scores can go from anything between 0 to 10. So it can be 0.1 to 9.9. Just something to note, because we never really talked about that before. It's always either a 0.5 or a 0.0 number. So I have our review sheet right here, our notes, so to speak, for our review. And as always, we start off with gameplay, and I'm going to let Jalen take it out.
Well, for me, the gameplay was good, but it gets sort of repetitive. I mean, honestly, puzzles and climbing, you can only go up and down and left to right. And there was my complaint about you getting behind in the back of the actual puzzle tower, ladder, whatever you want to call it, and then of course the controls are reversed, but you don't have to go back there that much. It's only really when you mess up and you're kind of frantic at the times. But the gameplay was solid.
I ended up going back there by accident.
Those boss fights. But yeah, the gameplay was solid. I give it an 8.
Alright, even though I do kind of agree about the repetitiveness, I mean, what do you expect? It is a puzzle game. And really, for me, the repetitiveness didn't really kick in until like the last couple of stages where you fight Tom Mutton and Dimazir. Kind of, okay, it's enough. Enough is enough now. 6 stages is a bit ridiculous. Let's just get out of here. So I gave it a 10. Now, just a reminder, because Jalen didn't really mention this just now, the puzzle isn't the only part of the gameplay here. Between the nightmares, you are in the Stray Sheep bar, and here you can play Rapunzel, which is like a practice for your nightmares. So there's like a certain amount of moves you can make. So it helps, and it's actually a trophy for beating all of it, but that's ridiculous. It gets really hard, like 4 levels in. I tried playing it. I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But
you stopped at level 4 too?
Yes.
Oh man.
You can also talk to people in there, like there's Justin and Todd and Archie, and you kind of help them with their personal problems. Or you can just say, ah, screw you, whatever, and they'll end up dying in their dreams. You'll never see them again. They're trophies for saving them. Unfortunately, I don't know how to save Todd. He's just gone. I tried my best. I answered all the positive responses. He's just dead.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do.
He died on my playthrough too.
Yeah, I don't know how you save him. But, you know, whatever. I still give it a 10. I'm standing behind that. It's really, the puzzle gameplay is great. Though, at the end, for me personally, it doesn't get repetitive until the end, where you're just ready to beat the game. About 12, 14 hours into it. You're just ready to finish it up and just say, ha-ha! I beat it.
I beat you.
Up next is graphics. Jalen?
Well, the graphics I think are amazing. The anime look works very well for this game. Studio 4C did a very good job animating the cutscenes. Everything was fluid. The animation was good. I give it a 10.
Alright. I also gave graphics a 10. Eyes kind of hurt. Sorry. Because I'm going to have to agree there. Studio 4C, they just did excellent with the anime and the cel-shaded cutscenes. All the characters are cel-shaded pretty good. It looks really nice on like an HDTV. I won't say it's like super realistic like LA Noire and stuff like that, but it fits the game. It fits the style game. It is the quirky Japanese culture thing.
Yeah.
It works, and the anime definitely helps that to break up between the CGI and the anime. It's pretty good balance there. So I give it a 10 for sure. Alright, so with gameplay and graphics out of the way, now it's time for audio.
Well, for me, I'm a big Shoji Meguro fan anyway, so I mostly like all of his music and his soundtracks when he makes these games. So coming to Catherine and listening to these remakes classical themes, and then of course the original themes as well, were really amazing. Shoji really outdid himself when he experimented with this. I found that the music totally matched the situations, and the music in the bar, one of my personal favorite themes, just makes me feel so calm. And then you have the main menu screen. It's a golden show. Grade A. I give it a 10.
Alright, well I do agree. The OST, the level themes with the classical remixes and the original music for the game is excellent. The voice acting is pretty good. Top-notch stuff there. You have Laura Bailey, and who plays Catherine with a C. I just love her voice acting in general. She really does a pretty good job, and she's really hot in real life too, so that's always a bonus there. The one issue I did have was between the CGI cutscenes and the anime cutscenes. There's a significant increase in volume when you go over to the anime. Like, there are times, if you watch our playthrough, we get to the anime cutscenes, I have to turn the TV down like 5 or 6 notches. That's how loud it goes. It's quite ridiculous, and I wish it would take a simple patch to fix it. And then it would get a perfect 10 for me. But I'm going to give it, because of the significant audio increase with the cutscenes, I'm going to have to give it a 9.5. The voice acting, as I said, and the OST is fantastic. My favorite personal track is the ending theme, the Undo Fred or something. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. I love that so much. It's just great. Alright, and now we have a big chunk of what this game is actually about. Now that you're out of gameplay, you have the plot.
For me, I thought the story was really well done, very well written out. A lot of curveballs here and there. The way we see Vincent suffering and having to choose between these two women, whether to stay faithful or to cheat, and the reactions his world takes as he makes these choices, and how everyone gets affected by it, really makes a good chunk of this game. If you pay attention to people and their details, you notice how they change as the game goes on. I felt that was a nice touch. I gave the plot a 10.
I am a writer, so I am a really big fan of good stories. Even if the graphics are pure crap, the gameplay is annoying and difficult. If you give me a good story, chances are I will play the game all the way through. And Catherine, even though the gameplay stuff is amazing, don't get me wrong, the story alone is worth $60. This game is worth $60. I'll tell you right now, this is a definite buy. Don't just rent this game, buy it. Because the plot is fantastic. As Jalen said, the way you see Vincent suffering through it, with the choices between Catherine and the cheating and trying to be morally correct in his own way, whether you want to be free or if you want to maintain order in your life by staying with the Catherine you don't like. It really does affect everything, and the characters, the other characters, like even your friends. At one point, they do hint at something that if you don't go talk to the sheep every time in the nightmare scenes, you're not going to notice. Mm-hmm. One of the nightmare scenes, Johnny's there, and you talk to him, and he talks about betraying his best friend. Now, this was annoying because I found out later on, there is only one ending that talks about what happened with Johnny there. And it is explained, and we're not going to spoil it here because this is a review. We're not here for spoilers and plot summaries. But it's obvious. But I'm kind of annoyed that, like, the only way to find out what he's talking about is if to get that specific ending. But the plot is just fantastic. I give it a 10. And finally, the final category is replay value.
Well, as we said, there's a bunch of different endings. 8 in total. So you can always go back and do those. And then you can always retry for gold on each of the levels. Then you have, of course, the Babel Tower.
Coliseum.
And the Coliseum for multiplayer fun. Ice blocks. Anyway. There's a lot to replay. So, I give it a 10.
Yeah, I have to agree there. 8 endings is fantastic. I mean, you don't have to actually play the game over 8 times, because I'll tell you this, the only questions that will affect your ending, because after every, in between the puzzles, there's a platform, and you go into the confessional and you answer a question, which will help bring your moral meter to the left or the right. Of course, the moral meter will help you pick your endings too, but there's 3 endings for order, 3 endings for freedom, and 2 for freedom, I think. Not freedom, is in the middle.
Yeah, I think the middle.
It's just the middle. I don't know, I think they call that freedom as well, which is a bit annoying. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, if you really want to get like the 3 endings for this side, 3 endings for that side, you want to like save at the beginning of stage 9, and then use your whatever side your karmic meter's at and get your different endings. But there is Babel, which you do have to play on normal or hard and get gold to unlock the other stages. But that's not too bad. I mean, after a while, if you get good at the game, you're probably just gonna fly through it. Or you could look up like Master LL or other guys who have kind of laid it out there for showing you how to get it. So yeah, the replay value is definitely a 10. Now, before we give our final scores, do you have anything else to add here?
It's a great game. I hate ice blocks. Babies are scary, and
so is commitment.
So is commitment. It's a very sophisticated game.
Alright, I will say that there's one thing I really love Atlas for, not just Catherine, the game Atlas. If you had pre-ordered the game, even if you didn't get the Love is Over edition, you get an art book, which is just fantastic. And you come with the, it also comes with the sound disc, which has the remixed classical themes, mainly just from the levels. You don't actually get the original music here, but you get that in the jukebox and games, if you get the trophies. So, that's pretty good. And, yeah, I would love to see another PS3 360 game from Atlas, kind of in this style. Maybe not a puzzle game, but it's like this anime, quirky Japanese culture-like game. It would just be fantastic. So now it is time for the final scores. Jalen, what did you give this thing?
As the final score, I gave Catherine a 9.5. I
gave Catherine a 9.9. The only thing that they really did bother me was the audio. The whole thing I talked about before. It was a bit, okay, it was very annoying, not just a bit. It was really annoying.
Imagine it on surround sound.
I don't want to. But, yeah, it's definitely a buy. It's a Game of the Year contender, which is very rare for me to say an anime-ish game is a Game of the Year contender, because I can't remember if that's ever been the case for me. It's always been a game like Heavy Rain or Red Dead Redemption. Kind of those more realistic, not puzzle games at all. Just straight up, you do this.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, Heavy Rain just have your choices, but choices sometimes aren't really mandatory. So,
yeah.
you know, if you want to see our playthrough of Heavy Rain or Pokemon Snap or any of the other games we played, please go check it out. Spread the word. Watch our Catherine playthrough if you want first. Watch it before this if you haven't. But yeah, that's it for the Catherine Final Judgment. 9.9, 9.5, and we will see you guys for Resident Evil 5, WWE All-Stars, and any future playthroughs.
Bye-bye.